Everything is broken, and nothing's going right.
Hello and welcome to Basement Fodder, the only show currently recording from our basement. I'm Todd.
I'm Dave.
And we are back in the surprisingly instantaneously cold of December, because it went from 40 degrees to 20 degrees.
No, not even 40, dude. Last night it was still 57 degrees, and then all of a sudden it was
25.
It's gonna be 19 degrees tonight. I'm like, you fucking schizo state. Goddamn, you in Florida, I swear, are just
Damn fucking Ohio weather.
Yeah.
Makes me
It's
a crazy person.
Because of that fucking off those lakes, man.
Jesus Christ. If it's not Ohio weather, it's idiotic Buckeye fans constantly bitching and pissing and moaning about.
I mean, you just got used to
bullshit that I don't care about.
But Browns did beat
the Browns won. They beat Cincinnati. Ooh.
Yep.
Impressive.
Yeah. Whatever.
But Carson Palmer is back, so it's a little bit better, than beating the second string guy who couldn't win a game.
Yeah. Poor kid.
They're like, why are they talking about football?
Listen up, okay? We like some sports ball.
We like sports bowling.
We pick the underdog teams. It's more fun that way.
We hate OSU. It's okay.
Oh, God, do I hate OSU.
Everybody thinks because you live in Ohio, you like
Especially
OSU.
if you live in Columbus. They're like,
oh, you must be a Buckeye fan. I must not.
Not for money.
Not this guy, sports fan. We're sitting here currently in the basement of Doom 2.0, literally surrounded by shit. We've brought so many boxes down here in the last couple of weeks because we're trying to make sure the rest of the house is on point, and I'm really behind on unpacking shit. So
plus we're still also trying to figure out
shit.
what we want to do with the space kind of thing, how we want to, because we've got the storage space, we've got the gaming area, we've got your desk for customs and all kinds of stuff. We got angry fucking cats. And we've got the recording casual hangout, and then every little nook and area is filled with other shit.
Just boxes.
Yeah.
It's you're a fucking hoarder when
you move.
You move and you start unpacking shit, and you're like, oh, I have a brand new Blu-ray player that I've never used. Goddamn cat. Sorry, the cat has jumped over the barn door and kamikazed into the room now.
Hey.
I almost didn't see him because of his camouflage jumpsuit.
Yeah.
Gigi, our black cat, had been scratching his belly way too much, and decided we needed to put a cat suit on him, so he doesn't do it anymore. And he's been very clingy and depressed since then. So he needs to be held like a baby, at all times now.
All times.
And we shut the barn door because we have the halvesies door on the basement. We shut it. The bottom part, and he literally just pole vaulted his ass over the top of it.
Kudos to him, because Mike won't even think about it, but Gigi will just nope, one try, whoop over this motherfucker. He is determined.
You will love me!
He's like, daddies are downstairs, I must go downstairs.
I must to be with the daddies.
Yeah. I was joking about getting one of those fucking baby slings that the women wear, where it's the onesie thing, and just stuffing him in there. He'd probably be just fucking...
Take him shopping. Don't care.
What is that?
No, yeah, literally, I'm going through boxes and I'm like, oh, there's a brand new Blu-ray player that I've never opened before. Forgot that existed.
Yep. Well, sweet. Now we just need to get a TV for down here.
Here's a bunch of toys that I bought twice. I forgot I already had.
Oh, which one?
There was a couple of figures for sure that I was ones that I almost bought twice too. Because remember when we went to the toy department up in Cincy?
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I still want that Cringer. Never got Cringer. No, I did get Cringer.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
But I was in that store fully convinced that I'd never gotten him. Because it was a grail for so long.
Yeah.
That it just stuck. Because when you're a toy collector, you get your what we call grails, which is your holy grail toys. And that you think you're never going to get them. And then when you do...
Fucking Fisto.
Yeah, they just never leave your head.
Yep.
It's no, always need to find it. That's why I ended up with a bunch of the same comic over and over again, too. It's oh, that
you almost had
great.
A couple of those same Supermans, too.
Yeah.
I had to remind you, no, you have that 2-pack.
No,
you do.
But no, when I was unpacking I unpacked a box of Master of the Universe creatures, and there was Cringer, along with Battle Cat, Battle Lion, and fucking Panther. And a bunch of other creature-y things. Was it Bo's Pegasus?
Yep.
I can't remember its name.
Yeah, the Bo's horse, the fucking griffin.
The griffin, yeah.
The shadow
Guy
apes,
War, the shadow beast, yeah. So a lot of cool ones. I found my McFarlane dragons, which is cool. I'd almost forgotten those even existed. I'm still missing a ton of stuff, though.
Yeah.
That I haven't found yet.
I think we should do some, like, floating shelves.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we're still, like, kind of debating on how to decorate down here.
How to do it.
But it's been a rough couple of weeks. Like, it's been hard to concentrate on anything.
Yeah, it's been a...
Because, like, real life stuff is there. Because, unfortunately, Ariel's, the Bisha's grandmother passed away, and that was a lot to deal with that we had to go through and stuff, too. And then, me being a Star Trek fan, there's been a lot of death in Star Trek in the last week.
Yeah. And not, like, kind of like...
Back-to-backs.
Yeah, like... and not, like, small deaths either. No. Like... Fucking some big stuff.
Because a couple of months ago we had Aaron Eisenberg, that was really unfortunate, who played Nog on Deep Space Nine. But this week, earlier in last week, DC Fontana, or Dorothy Fontana, who was one of the original writers of the original series, and one of the first female sci-fi writers on a television show ever, she was a pioneer, man, went under the name DC so people wouldn't know she was a woman, basically. Yeah. She passed, and of course she was like 80-something, so it's like, well, it's
but
not
it's
all
still
that,
like, you hate like, to lose one of the original pioneers.
That's a pioneer. That's one of the original people. Yep. And also wrote a lot for Next Generation, too. Yeah. And it opened a lot of doors for females in the sci-fi and horror industry in general, and writing in general. Yeah. So that was a hell of a loss. And then this week, Renee Auger-Benoit, I'll murder that name, but... who was Odo on Deep Space Nine, passed. He had lung cancer, unfortunately, and he was like he was in his late 70s. I think he was like 79.
I thought he was like 74, 75. Actually.
He was definitely up there, but that one hit me real hard.
Because he was also in a bunch of other stuff, too, that I watched and he was really good in, so it's kind of...
He was a great character actor. He had he had a great character on Warehouse 13 that I really enjoyed. He was on Benson when I was a kid. I remember watching him on Benson. Hell, even Star Trek before Deep Space Nine, he was one of the bad guys in The Undiscovered Country. He was one of the evil Starfleet guys.
He was... he did a spot in Criminal Minds, that really good military one. Yeah, that was like...
He was like the headmaster of the military academy. Yeah, he was great. Yeah. It was just... He was the voice of the chef in Little Mermaid. Yep. And did a lot of voice work.
Yeah, he was... Man, Star Trek from voice work is like...
It's a big thing.
Big thing, you know.
Yeah. So that one was a tough one, too. Yeah. And then also Marina Sirtis, of course, who was Counselor Troy, her husband, he was a studio musician, but he'd also done a couple episodes in the 80s and 90s on Next Generation. He passed away very suddenly. Like, he was only, like, I think 60. Yeah, he just sort of passed away in his sleep, like, kind of out of nowhere. Yeah. So she's absolutely devastated.
Yeah. And then non-Star Trek related, I lost the lead singer of Roxette.
Yeah, well, and then Carol Spinney, who is Big Bird and Oscar the Grouch, one of the original Muppeteers, passed. And that one, I literally did cry. It hit me hard.
Oh, yeah. I think the Roxette and... him were probably the two for me that were like the biggest, like, damn, because like everybody loves Big Bird, and don't get me wrong, I liked Big Bird. I love Follow That Bird and stuff like that. But for me, it was like Oscar, because like Oscar to me was a more fleshed out character. Yeah, like I really liked the Oscar thing, so it was really sad to kind of see that go away.
Once when I was a kid, this is a weird story, but I have to tell it. Once when I was a kid, I was a little kid, I was probably only about 6, we were in JCPenney, big JCPenney downtown. Yeah. And I got lost.
Oh, wow.
I got lost from Mom. Yeah. And I was scared shitless. Like, completely. Yeah. And it seemed like forever. Like, I don't know.
Oh, yeah, it always does.
Lost, but it seemed like, when you're a kid, you can't tell.
You're just like...
And I didn't know what to do, where to go, whatever. And there was this enormous Big Bird that they had in the kids' like clothing section. Yeah. On top of one of those like clothing spindles.
Yeah, the ones where the mannequins and stuff.
Like the circle rack. Yep. But it was a huge Big Bird. I'm sure it wasn't as big as I remember it being, because I remember it being like full size. But who knows? Back then,
when you're
really
a kid on a thing, Big Bird was like full size. It's fucking fucking ginormous.
And I hid underneath Big Bird, like I parted the rack and sat underneath there.
Yeah.
Until someone found me.
Yeah.
Because Big Bird meant safety.
Yeah.
In my head.
Oh yeah.
And that's a thing for kids. Like, Big Bird is one of those things, like Sesame Street in general is one of those first things, and Mr. Rogers and whatnot, that you find safety in.
Like, you identify, and you're like, I know that's a person, a place, a thing that, like, has always been, you know, even, like, the characters in the show, like Oscar and stuff, you know, you see that, and you're like, that's familiar. I know that. That's, you know...
My earliest memories are watching Sesame Street, watching Mr. Rogers when I was a kid.
I had a copy of the Big Bird movie, the Follow That Bird, that I literally wore out, and my mom had to go get me another copy of it because I loved that movie so much. I mean, I liked Sesame Street and stuff like that, but I loved that movie because you got to see like a whole different side of the street and stuff like that. Like, beyond the educational, you got to actually see like the heart and soul of all those characters, and I love that movie. Like, the fucking where he's all painted blue and shit like that. I still, like, I get goosebumps now, and as an adult thinking of that and like all those little kids and stuff like that, I get teary about it because it was such a strongly impactful thing. Because it was like, you know, that situation right there where it's like, even his like stature and stuff, Big Bird was just a kid himself and stuff. So it's like that feeling of like, man, you know, like lost and afraid and sad and all that stuff, you know, and to see it happen with Big Bird, who was like always the most chipper and cheery, and even like, you know, when he was kind of sad on the show, you never really like, you only got like glimpses of it and stuff, but to see that, it was like so heartbreaking because you're like, oh my god, you know. And then to see like what that movie, you know, came out of and stuff, as far as it really, to me, made that rest of that show so much more because you saw the family, the level, like they always claim to be a family, and you got to see it, and you got to see the range of emotions and stuff. So I was really attached to that movie. And you know, that scene when he's running down the street and she passes him with the fucking thing and then flips it. Dude, that was scary. Like, legit. I was scared of that fucking old lady bird. I was like, the devil, you know?
I remember not too long ago looking up the Bluebird scene on YouTube and still being, like, severely affected by it.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I don't think you can ever really quantify what an impact that Jim Henson and Sesame Street and the Muppets had on our generation and the generations after. Like, I think especially ours, because we grew up right at the height of Sesame Street and the Muppets. Like, I really don't think it's measurable.
No.
Like, it's so ingrained.
Fraggles.
Yeah.
It's the storyteller. Like, all that stuff. Like, there was something about seeing a Muppet. And I know some people are like, oh, Muppets, blah, 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 and stuff like that. But I'm like, to me, a Muppet was like the creation of like seeing like an imaginary friend come to life. Yeah. Because like it was a tangible, crazy thing that like, you know, was there, and you could physically go hug a Big Bird, a Snuffy, a fucking, you know, any of these things, or you could see them go have their adventures and stuff, and you were like, you know, but you always felt like, I know some people get weirded out by Muppets and they're like very like off-put about it and stuff, and I was like, you either must have been the generation before, the generation after, or just one of those people that just, our generation, you know, and stuff like that. But to like, man, you show me a Muppet, even when I watched like that fucking the raunchy comedy one, and the Happy Time and stuff like that, or like any of those other ones and stuff, like you show me a Muppet and I am almost instantaneously comfortable. Like it's one of those things where it's like, you know, like a safety blanket of some kind, you know, like, oh, like a kid's teddy bear or something like that. Like, to me, Muppets was like the safe place. Muppets, Sesame Street, like just that terminology and stuff, puppetry of that kind of sense and stuff was a safe place. Even the ones that were meant to not necessarily be the safe was like, oh, here's a Skeksis, or here's a two grumpy Waldorf, and and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, but even in what they were, I could just get lost in that for hours. That was a medium of storytelling that to me was just like
the Bear in the Big Blue House.
Yes,
that was like right at
Eureka's Castle. Like all of those things.
So many beautiful creations.
Yeah,
like, and then these Muppeteers. Like when Jim Henson died when I was a kid, I was just grief stricken.
Oh yeah.
And then when Carol Spinney passed, I was like, I know he was 85, and I know he was in poor health, and I knew it was going to happen.
Yeah, but
it's like Big Bird is dead.
Yeah, that
Oscar is dead.
Yeah, that one's hard. Or when the Count, like when shit like that happened, it was. I think one of the ones I wanted to go back and that like really kind of like this was a character that kind of came out of the tail end of it, and I was never like a huge Elmo fan. Like that was a younger generation of the Muppet Lovers and stuff like that. But to me, when like that whole ordeal about like the inappropriateness of certain things and stuff like that hit really hard because it was like you're trying to taint a safe medium.
You've broken the absolute most sacred trust there. Like the Muppet trust is something different.
Yeah. Well, and I was mad at both. The person. And the media because like then they went on this witch hunt. And it was really shitty because it was like they just tried to destroy the medium if they could and stuff. Like, oh, well, if one, they're all and stuff. And I was like, no, like, fuck you. Like, there are some just genuine, like, people there. Like, you're going to try and go after, like, Mr. Rogers now, too? Or, like, any of those other motherfuckers? Like, there were some just genuinely people that wanted to care for and illuminate, a child's life and imagination, and like, or just genuinely, a bright spot in the soul of, humanity and shit. And,
I mean, if ever there was a saint that lived the time that we did, it was Fred Rogers. Like, there was so much I didn't even know about him. Like, that is just amazing. Like, there is a thing that I saw in because of course that movie is coming out, or it is out, about that Tom Hanks is playing him in.
Yeah.
And they were talking about, like, there was a certain time still when, there wasn't segregation, but...
you're talking about where he did the...
black people and white people weren't allowed to swim in the same pool.
And he had the cop come by, and, like, they both put their feet in the water and stuff, and he basically was like... Fuck you. What are you going to do? You're going to shut me down?
Mr. Rogers.
Yeah, like...
he was a genuinely pure and good person.
Yeah.
And it's so rare.
Yeah. And to, like, lose one like that, like...
Yeah.
Because it's one of those, even in my head as an adult and stuff like that, there is that weird compartmentalization of, I love the puppeteer for being who he is.
Yeah.
And I know he was those characters, and I love him for being those characters, but those characters themselves are also their own entity and stuff. Yeah. So it's like, I know Big Bird will live on, and I know Oscar will live on, but it's like a small part, like that, like a key part of them is kind of not going to be the same, because it's not going to be...
It was that way with Kermit.
Yep.
When Jim Henson passed, it's like the wrong sounding Muppets joke or whatever. Or like when I was a kid, I remember Mel Blanc died, and like Bugs Bunny never sounded right after that. To me. Like
you're like that. And it sounds shitty. And I'm not trying to, like, because you get that weird like hipsters say, well, that's not my blah blah blah, and it's cool. It's cool, and it's taken from a very shitty angle and stuff. But it is one of those things where, like, there is, once that happens. That was my Bugs Bunny. That was my Big Bird and stuff like that. Like, I'm not shitting on whoever's doing it now because kudos to them to continue on the legacy and stuff. But that's that next person's, like, that kid at that time who's hearing that's his Big Bird and Bugs Bunny. That was mine. Yeah, and it will always and forever being like I relate it to like kind of like being at like your grandparents or something like that, where it's like. that sound is so unique and ingrained. You'll know the difference.
Yeah,
and
it's
stuff.
like
So it'll never be able to be quite
we all
the same.
associate things. It's like you talk about, like when I go to my grandma's house, like it still smells like my grandpa. And he's been dead for 10 years almost.
Yeah.
But it's always gonna.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That's
And then
the
you'll
smell.
catch smells
Yeah.
in places like antique places
Yeah.
or like Cracker Barrel is
Barrel
notorious
is
for this
notorious for
because
this, yeah.
like their cooking style and like things they have there is constantly always sending me back to like that, you know, like oh man. But okay, we went on a death rant here.
Well, that's the thing. It's like celebrity deaths are such a weird thing because, like, Beesh and I were talking about it because, like, when Carol Spinney died, like, I literally broke down a little bit.
Yeah.
And she was like, I don't know if I've ever cried, like, over a celebrity death before. And I'm like, it's different. It's different for me because celebrity stuff and pop culture and all that was so ingrained in my life.
Yeah.
It's been such a big part for me that, like, it's almost like you know them.
Yeah. I think the other thing, too, is it's very... How much did that person impact your life?
Exactly.
Like, musicians are constantly, like... Musicians that'll die that I never really cared for have no impact on my life and stuff. But musicians that, like, literally...
Like when Bowie died.
Yeah, Bowie died. Whew, that was brutal. And I know how people feel about Michael Jackson, but to lose Michael Jackson was kind of a fucking, like, you know, a thing. That was...
Like, I had found out about a month, like back in April, that one of my favorite country singers as a kid had passed away. His name was Earl Thomas Conley. Mm-hmm. He was a huge, like he had like 12 number ones in a row in the 80s. Like he was big guy back then. And he was really, like, if you guys watched The Voice, like, he was really instrumental in Blake Shelton's early career, like, helping to get him started, and he wrote a couple of hit songs for him and shit. But he had gotten dementia.
Oh,
and I didn't know he had passed until very recently.
Yeah.
I guess it happened in April, but I didn't know about it until, like, a couple of weeks ago. And I ended up spending, like, the rest of the day just listening to songs and stuff, because this is stuff I grew up on.
Yeah.
And those people, they have a big impact on our lives. Like, I remember when we were teenagers and Kurt Cobain died, like, it didn't affect me necessarily.
I had friends that,
but
like...
I had friends who, like, were despondent.
I was that's when I was living in California, so, like, that whole culture, man, fuck, you killed their messiah, is basically how it was. That whole grunge thing. Like, I was not into... Like, I was not into grunge that much, and B, I was not, even the grunge that I was into was not necessarily there. I liked a few of their songs, but man, I had friends that were just like, did not know what they were going to do with their life from then on and stuff like that. And I was like, wow, you know, because, like, you know, their words and their tunes and stuff like that, like their melodies and everything like that, like, can... you know, for the right person, just completely take them somewhere they need to go, and to lose that. Like, for me, I know some people don't like them and stuff, and that's fine, but when Chester Bennington passed, you know, due to suicide and stuff like that, that was rough for me, because, like, Linkin Park was really... I have just about every one of their albums and stuff like that. And it's like, once they had started to kind of like come into their own after that first album, I love that first album, but like a lot of the stuff they were doing was a blend of the music styles that I liked, like a lot of electronic and stuff mixed with like hard rock. His voice and like the stuff that he would sing about, you know, was very like, you know, hits home and stuff, and then to lose him in that way and stuff, it was devastating. And to know that you're not going to get to hear that voice produce something new anymore. And I mean, you can always, you know, Tupac Shakur him, where you just literally bring out every piece of fucking thing, but it's like, it's never going to be the same, you know, or like Freddie Mercury. I was a huge Queen. Now, granted, I was like maybe 1, 2, or even not even born when he passed and stuff like that. But it's like, you know, to be so attached to that and have him, you know.
I remember when I was a kid, my mom was like the world's biggest Conway Twitty fan. Like, when he died, I remember her like bawling, like a baby. Like, it just really. That's what they talk like when people are like, "Oh, celebrities they have such a hard life." I'm like, no, they do though, because there's a lot of fucking shit and responsibility that goes along with that.
Yeah,
like to be like, yeah, a lot of those guys are like, I don't want to be a role model, but like, and it's not necessarily about that. It's just like you're constantly out there, especially if you're on like a sitcom or something like that, or like children's television, like something that people are seeing every day,
and it has such an impact. Yeah. Like you're shaping. You know, either you're shaping, or like with musicians, you're saving.
Yeah.
You know, people, like you're speaking to people and stuff like that's. You've got something to say, but to always, because like I hear a lot of like people do that and stuff. Like, well, I've got something to say. Well, the other end of that spectrum is somebody has something to listen, and that's the thing is like you got words to say, people got words to listen to. They're going to have an impact, and you know that you don't want to be a role model, but you just want to say what you need to say. Well, you know that's going to resonate with somebody. You know,
yeah, music is that way, especially because it's like, especially when you're a teenager or when you're like in that depressive place, it's like no one understands
your developmental time
no one
period.
understands how I feel until you start hear that music for the first time that expresses how you feel in a way
and you're like, somebody did.
And you're like, holy shit, somebody else has been there.
Or like, you know, with actors who, you know, not just like their part, but like how the parts they picked.
Yeah.
Like a Tim Curry and stuff, like that was a good choice. Like to see the state that he was in was saddening and stuff like that. You know, I'm thankful that he's still alive and he was doing better, but it was like to know and see somebody that you genuinely loved everything they've ever produced, like put out and stuff, as far as a actor and a character, all very different characters, but all very much that person. And to know that they could never put something out again at the level that you were used to and stuff. Like the one that really fucking broke me up, and I did not expect it to, was Randy Travis. Yeah. Randy Travis.
He was looking haggard the last time I saw him.
He was. And to like after that whole like thing happened, to see there was another guy that was playing his song, and then he was sitting there and he did like the Amen thing. I was like, that really broke me up, because it was like, you know, I was never a huge country person, but I had artists that I really liked, and he was one of them. And to not be able to see him do what he wants to do and stuff, it was very saddening and stuff. But it was like I was grateful for what he was able to do.
The shitty thing is we're at that age now.
Yeah,
a lot of people that we remember as kids are getting old, and they're dying off. You know, and some of them younger and some of them older. Like it just depends. But
that's the thing. The Gambit
iconic stuff from when we were kids is aged to that point now where it's all like starting to go.
Well, even the younger kids now and stuff like that are having their own, like, you know, live fast, die young people happening. There was another rapper that just recently died.
Yeah,
well,
no idea what
I don't know, but it was like one of those things. Like he's this generation's like, you know, group of like, you know, Cobain or fucking what's his face from Sublime or
like River Phoenix,
you know, different things of that nature, where it's like they're losing these people after just getting them for such a small time and them going away and stuff.
Every generation's got those. You know, the 60s had James Dean and Marilyn Monroe, and you know the 70s had Presley and like Morrison and all these, you know, wonderfully insanely talented people that are just here and gone.
Like, just like a comet. Like you have those ones that are here for a long period of time and you get used to them and then they go away, and that really fucking sucks. But then you have those ones that are only here for just a brief shining moment and then they're gone, and it's like, wow. And you know, it is, as a celebrity, you get so invested in somebody and their stuff, and then like to lose them, you know, it was like whatever their medium was, it was like they did things in such a way that it elevated it illuminated your soul, your imagination, like all of that stuff, as far as like it took you from somewhere where you were to somewhere you never thought you'd be, and then to not have them do that, be able to do that anymore, is like, you know, it's pretty rough. You know, so I can understand some people who are just like, oh, whatever, blah blah blah. But then for other people, it's like, what about those people that didn't have a lot of friends, a lot of family, like needed to make connections?
The television was your babysitter.
Yeah, yeah. We did grow up in that time period where, like, you know, a lot more divorce, a lot more single parents working, the age of the fucking digital babysitters and stuff like that.
Like we went a few months ago. The COSI had that Henson exhibit, and there were points where like I was just like it shook me.
Yeah,
to see the real thing in person, like when Scooter is there in front of me, because like Scooter was my favorite Muppet as a kid, besides Kermit, of course.
Yeah.
And like I tears because this is fucking Scooter. Like this is that thing that brought me so much happiness as a child.
Yep.
And it's right in front of me. Like I can't touch it because there's glass there. Because God knows I'd be like,
oh, dude, if you ever like showed me Grover, like if I ever saw a Super Grover, like right there, dude, I'd fucking
Bert
like
and Ernie were there.
Yeah, I would
like,
tackle
the Count.
Yeah, the Count, Snuffy. Like these motherfuckers would get tackled and like hugged to death because they were like Oscar. Like I loved Oscar. I would, you know, because it's one of those instantly like when you ask that question, what's home to somebody and stuff like that. Different things. It's not always a place, but it could be a thing or a feeling, as any of those, and like. Those were in, you know, like those very developmental times and stuff like that. Like, you know, if you didn't have a lot of friends, you knew you could have, like, the Muppets were always going to be your friends, or like all of them and stuff.
Sesame Street was this magical place where you could go. And real kids there.
Yeah.
And there were all these wonderful, amazing things like Snuffy and Big Bird and Bert and Ernie and shit. But they all lived with the kids. And, like, I wanted to be one of those kids so bad.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God.
I wanted to be that kid that got to pet Snuffy. Like, I wanted to be there.
I wanted to live in the house where underground the Fraggles were, like, you know, doing the thing.
Fraggles and Doozers and shit.
Yeah. Like, you're just like, what? I wanted to go to the world of Labyrinth or the world of fucking, you know... the Dark Crystal and like see God,
escapism,
if I could have been a kid and been like, you get to ride a Landstrider, I'd have been like, oh, I could die happy now, like, or it's Falcor.
We lost so many people like in nerd culture in general this year. Peter Tork passed away, of course, for the Monkees. Peter Mayhew passed away. It was Chewbacca. There's been a ton of that, and like because we are nerds and because we are geeks and because we invest so heavily in culture, in pop culture, and in comics and in movies and things. These things affect us more than they would affect somebody else. Yeah. Hearing that Renee Auger-Benoit passed away was like hearing that an uncle passed away from me. Because I've probably seen
more devastating sometimes than an uncle dying. You're
because
like...
I'm more close to these characters in some respects than I am to members of my own family. Yeah. Like, I've probably seen every episode of DS9 like 10 times at least. This was a formative character, a formative actor for me, and like all those are, especially when you're in like a community like a Trek community like that, or like Star Wars is just as equally as, you know, it's close like that. These things fucking mean something. When Carrie Fisher died, people were despondent. Yeah, like that is the reality of it. This is the culture we were raised in. We were raised to that these things were kind of part of your family. Those things that come into your home every day, man. That's part of your nomenclature. It's part of your life.
Like, you know, it was your pantheon. It was like, you know, you look back and you're like, man, who are those? Like, if you were looking at just a scale of the most important people in your life, like on pedestals, not, you know, like, oh, but like just like statuesques of like those people that were like, that person affected that time of my life. This person was like that time of my life. Like, you know, these were people that were on these blocks that were like, you know, little girls wanted to be Leia and stuff. And, you know, like people wanted to be these people. And it was like, you know, or some of them wasn't necessarily wanting to be them, but they were like, God, I wish I had a person like that in my life and stuff. And it was, you know, it was very, very much like a strong thing. And even like to see the families of, you know, those people, like not just like how you or I would feel, but to see how they losing another one of themselves, you know, is pretty telling.
It's pretty goddamn depressing, so I'll tell you what.
I mean, it is, yeah. But it is also one of those things, it's the inevitable inevitability of life, basically. Like, you're going to lose your heroes and stuff, unfortunately.
Yeah. Speaking of depressing, I saw that Black Widow trailer.
That's the segue you're going to go with?
Ride the segue.
You're going to go with a depressing death segue? Good God.
Yes, because that was equally fucking depressing for me, watching that hot-ass garbage on the fucking screen.
Fair enough.
So I'm sure there are lots of people out there that want to see this movie, and good for you. Like, seriously, I'm sure there's lots of Black Widow fans out there.
There are, but even they have been like, kind of like, it's one of those things like, cool. She was here before all of them.
Yeah.
And Wonder Woman, Captain Marvel, all these people got their movies before her. And it was one of those things where it's like...
Okay, here's my take on that. Mm-hmm. Black Widow is not really a character who needs their own movie. She is like the most two-faced fucking manipulative character in the history of Marvel. She's changed sides and double agented so many fucking ridiculous amount of times. She has no discernible main villain. She has no real discernible track other than other people's track. Yeah. She's basically a utility character.
Yeah.
It's like saying, let's give Vision a movie by himself. Like, no one else is there. And I'm like, what would it be about?
Yeah.
Like,
and that's the thing. Like, that kind of is a telling of how much people really enjoyed Scarlett Johansson's portrayal of her. Like, that you took a character who, by all standards, in just about every medium I've ever seen, is a really shitty character.
Shitty, boring,
heelish character, and you turned her into a person that, by all points and... is a character that people loved.
Yeah, I mean, she almost looks awake for the whole movie.
It's true. But,
I don't know. I don't get it, I guess, also because I've never been impressed with her.
Oh, Scarlett?
No. In anything, let alone this. Like, I find her to be like, I find the same thing, I feel the same thing about her as I feel about Jennifer Lawrence. I don't understand why people are so obsessed with her.
I don't think she's nearly as bad as Jennifer Lawrence.
But you know what I'm saying? It's like there's this category of actress that I really just don't understand what the fuck people are seeing. Like Jennifer Lawrence, I'm sorry.
Yeah. There's like...
nothing.
There's the nuances of the non...
I'd rather watch Scarlett Johansson, but...
There's, of the not necessarily the most super expressive actors and stuff like that. And I think some people get into it, some people don't. That's the thing. It is what it is. Some very expressive actors I'm okay with. A lot of the time I'm not necessarily, because it's like hard to read a lot of stuff.
Dance that borderline between not expressive and just bad at acting.
That's true.
And Jennifer Lawrence is,
for me, that's Kristen Stewart.
Kristen Stewart is way into the I just am a shitty actor category.
Yeah. I've watched Scarlett since she was young, since it was like that movie with like her and Thora Birch and stuff, like the what was it, Otherworld or whatever.
Yeah.
And so I've seen her since she was super young to older. So you see that progression of acting and different things like that. You grow up with them. Robert Downey Jr. for maybe the group a little bit before us, like a couple years, because we watched him from when he was in the 80s and stuff. So
I don't know. There was I watched the trailer and I'm like, I was not interested before, and nothing that has happened in this trailer has made me change my mind at all.
Yeah.
And I was kind of hoping in a weird way that there would be something really interesting, and I'd be like, okay, well, maybe I would be interested. Because Marvel has a good formula.
Yeah. Well, this is their Mission Impossible Jason Bourne one.
And it's just it really is lost on me because I don't care about that shit either.
Yeah, you're not really a spy guy.
Let's just Bond, I really don't care.
And Bond is, to be honest, not really good spy stuff.
Yeah, it's not. It's just funny.
Because he's the worst spy in history. Because he's the guy that walks in like, hey, baby, I'm James Bond, I'm a spy.
Yeah, James Bond, I'm a spy. And it's not a very good one. You'll be fucking telling me you're a spy right now.
Every bad guy that you're going to, catch already knows who you are, knows that you're a spy, knows what you're doing.
Terrible fucking
you're
spy.
a terrible fucking spy. Like,
but yeah, it's not for me, and I knew it wasn't gonna be for me, but I was kind of still had like that hope. Because Taskmaster was involved, and I was like, I love Taskmaster.
Taskmaster
and then Red
was
Guardian. I'm like, well, I really like that character too.
Yeah.
Boy, they certainly fucking shit the bed on both of those. It seems like
I'm a little different on the Red Guardian thing.
It looked funny, but like,
that and having seen that Hellboy movie with him, I don't care if anybody doesn't like it.
Literally the only person I know who likes that movie.
I mean, I
haven't seen it, so I can't judge it.
Yeah, that's fine. I like him enough that I was like, okay, Red Guardian was never a character I was super into to begin with and stuff, because to be honest, I was never a huge Captain America person. Yeah. Like, so Captain America adjacent characters were never, like, you know...
Me, on the other hand, I'm a huge Cap fan.
Yeah, you're a huge Cap, Superman fan. Like, you love those, like, Truth, Justice...
characters.
I am not those characters. Like, because those characters are a little too out and, like, in the public eye for me. I was never that type of guy. So I never was big into it, but I like David Harbour enough to be like, okay, that's something I could enjoy in this movie, like his portrayal of it and stuff. Taskmaster to me was a doomed choice from the get-go because it's like, one, A, his powers, B, his costume, both are very difficult to portray. Like,
the original one, yeah, I would say so, but like the more recent version where he's got like the more tech armor and he has the more like with the fucking gas mask in the hood, that you could have easily done.
That it is, but the problem is if I showed you that figure, like without the shield, without the like very like specific Taskmastery things, like if I just held up that figure and was like, "Who's this?" Most people would be like,
okay, but he looks like Night Thrasher.
Oh yeah, it looks like Taskmaster buttfuck Night Thrasher, and that's what
it's fucking terrible.
Yeah,
it looks like a motorcycle helmet with ski goggles on it. Like, it looks awful.
Well, I mean,
this is a Marvel movie. Like, I hate to say it, but I've come to expect a little more out of you motherfuckers. Like, this is like Mickey Rourke in Iron Man 2.
Oh, Whiplash.
Yeah.
But I mean, to be honest, look at Crossbones.
Yeah, I mean, Crossbones, like, it made more sense, though, because, like, Crossbones really doesn't have much of a fucking iconic costume other than the, like, helmet. That's about...
But he doesn't wear a helmet, though.
Well, he wears a mask.
Yeah, he wears pretty much like a Bane luchador fucking skull mask.
But what they gave him in the movies looked like a Marvel movie version of that. To me,
it did, but it was still very much like...
It wasn't great. I'm not saying it was, but he was in the movie for all of like 13 seconds.
Which sucks, because I actually like the actor. I like the actor, and I liked the villain and stuff, and I felt like he kind of got screwed on that. And
Taskmaster is actually kind of a sizable Avengers bad guy. Like, he's not a D guy.
He's not, but he's considered... He's like a Deadpool joke villain, because of like... Well, I mean, I think in some levels, a lot of people always kind of like the not hardcore people who were really invested in those kind of felt that's what he was, because he's a copycat. That's his modus operandi, is he literally is a copycat villain.
Yeah. And who did they get to train all those heroes when fucking the Avengers like States Initiative shit happened? They put him in charge of Avengers Academy. Mm-hmm. Because they're like, who better to train than a guy who can do anything?
Yeah.
This is why he's a great villain, because he can literally do anything.
Oh, yeah. Like, his powers
he has really fucking cool powers.
His powers are fucking really incredible, and the limits that they've been taken to show you that how incredible they are. But the thing is, as an everyday villain, he is a glorified copycat, and to some people, the non-really invested people... That's a joke.
That's annoying, too, because he's kicked the Avengers' ass so many times.
Oh, yeah.
He has straight up whooped Captain America's ass. Mm-hmm. Like it was nothing.
Like he's
whooped Black Widow's ass like a million times.
He's went toe-to-toe in a bow competition with Hawkeye, fucking kicked his ass and stuff like that.
He is a great villain, and they're really just wasting an opportunity.
It is, but it's one of those things where it's like, how much do you respect a guy... you know, that will use your own powers against you and stuff as your villain. Like, it's kind of one of those things where, do you want a villain that has his own set of powers that are fucking like, oh, crazy? Or do you want a villain who's basically gonna, like, show you up with your own shit. It's kind of like, it's a taste thing. Like, what kind of villain do you like?
I suppose so. I mean, like, to me, like, that kind of villain's great because they're the ones that are the hardest to beat.
Oh, yeah, because, like, a Mystique, a Morph, Taskmaster, any of those, like, mimicry type fucking things and stuff like that.
Look at Mimic for the X-Men, who could literally ape all their powers at once.
Yeah.
Who is like the strength of Beast, Angel Wings, Cyclops Blast.
Even Rogue.
Ice coming out, Rogue. Yeah, like these characters that can just literally, okay, that's cool. You can shoot blasts out of your eyes. Guess what? Now I can too.
Yeah. I think
the fucking Super Adaptoid or like Amazo or any of those fucking characters.
Parasite
like
to a certain degree.
Yeah.
I think the problem is like some people see them not having their own power necessarily, their own like, like, oh, you got super strength. Cool. Well, I'm kicking your ass with, like, this other, like, opposing fucking power as opposed to I'm just mimicking yours. Is kind of one of those, like, some people see it as, like, a lack of personality or a lack of, like, a complete character.
I disagree with that.
And that's what I'm saying.
It's
a taste thing.
I
personally think Taskmaster is a
same
fucking
reason
very...
Super Skrull's badass. Like, the Skrulls in general, same reason they're badass.
They're a very underutilized bad guy because it's one of those things where people sometimes want to see different things.
Just think about it at the level of just take Super Skrull for an example. Can be invisible. He has the strength of the Thing. He has the fucking flame ability of Torch and the stretching abilities of... Like, that's a fucking deadly ass villain right there.
It is.
He's got it all.
But then look what got done with it in Fantastic Four 2. Look how it got utilized. But I'm saying,
I understand.
But like, that's the thing. Is like stuff like that gets used as a joke, where it's like, oh, you can mimic other people's powers, or like, like in X-Men, where Wolverine's fighting Mystique, and she shapes into Wolverine, and they go to fucking do the thing, and it's like their claws meet, and automatically his slice through hers, and then she's like, oh, the girl, and runs off, and it's like, haha, that was kind of like. A joke. It's always viewed as somehow lesser. Like a mimic ability is a lesser ability.
Yeah, I dislike that, but I understand it.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. It's very much a what is your taste of villain? Because I'm sorry, if you gave Doom, Luthor, like any of these, like Magneto, like any of these just epic level bad guys, the ability to mimic their nemesis's powers.
We've seen what happens when Lex gets Superman's abilities. Holy fuck, dude! He takes over the whole goddamn world.
That's what I'm saying. Is it a lesser ability? No, it becomes one of those like, how do you beat yourself?
Yeah,
because that's how you have to beat them, and that's how they beat you. It's one of those. It's a very much. I think on some levels, it's a more thinking man's ability than it is, and I think some people just want a good old fashioned like ass whooping competition, so they don't like that. I think he's a great villain for this like type of movie.
Yeah,
I just think they may have won the movies a little too much, or a little too late. Yeah. It should have happened. It would have meant more. And the fact that this is taking place between movies that already happened, so you're basically saying, cool, whatever happens at the end of this, Taskmaster didn't amount to shit because you either A, she kills him, or B, he doesn't have any kind of impact afterwards enough to be a legitimate bad guy.
This is the tough thing about villains in a prequel. It's like, well, you already know they're not going to win. Like,
they're not going to win, or they get
any huge impact.
Yeah, or they get beaten so bad that they never get brought back. Like, shit.
Yeah.
You brought back Red Skull in a manner that he was neutered.
Yeah, completely. I don't know. It didn't do anything for me. Is the main idea though?
Yeah.
Like,
there was things in it that I liked. I will see it. I will not go like opening weekend or anything like that. Like I'll catch it on a matinee or something like that, or on video.
If
like,
it were on Netflix and I was extremely bored.
Well, Disney Plus. I'll probably catch it on Disney Plus.
Disney Plus. Yeah.
Wonder Woman 84 dropped.
Sure did.
See, now I feel okay. Like on some level, to me, this is also because you have not seen the first one.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like what's happening in the trailer. Since I've seen it, I understand a lot, and I'm all like, "Ooh, how's that happening with this and stuff?"
Yeah.
Having not seen it to a degree, it's like, wait, what the fuckus?
And it's less that I was confused by things, and more that like nothing I saw got me excited to watch the movie.
I mean,
other than the armor.
The armor, I have not seen Cheetah. They did not show Cheetah. They showed Kristen Wiig. They did not show Cheetah. So I'm still waiting on that. I mean, of course, she still has badass action scenes, but you kind of expect that certain level of like her fighting style after seeing the first one. I am interested in the fact that Pedro Pascal is Maxwell Lord. That's a good character. That's a damn good character. And that's a damn good actor. I am intrigued on how it's going to be used, because it's like they're going with the same DC formula of you have a physical bad guy that's going to take your hero toe to toe, and then you're going to have your more like puppet master bad guy who's the megalomaniac fucking like mind, you know. So I want to see how this is going to go. There are things in it that I saw that I liked. I mean, I love the 80s, so for me, like, a lot of that stuff was
I think I'm starting to get sick of the 80s nostalgia to a point, like...
Okay, well, I think the other problem, too, is there's a lot of, like, this thing where when people get nostalgic about stuff, they start to, like, not just pick from that, they start to blend, like, because when people got nostalgic for the 60s and the 70s, what happened? They just started... blending them together, so you couldn't really be like... I think people are doing that now with the 80s and the 90s, where it's like they're meshing them into one nostalgic, and I'm like, okay, but the 80s and the 90s are two very different periods, and you guys are just starting to fuse them into one. So like the things that I liked about the 80s and things that annoyed me about the 90s are starting to do that thing. So it's like, you know,
it made me think of Ragnarok, and that's never a good thing.
Yeah, but I also feel like we have to be careful with that, because Ragnarok very much damaged us in a way of like... It did. Like, it was one of those things where you thought it was going to be a very happy, and like then you got a fucking emotional ass whooping, the likes of which you were like, what the fuck? And ever since then, you're very timid to like want to get back on that horse and be very excited about something, because if you see something that you're like, and comedy, it's one of those things now where, and it's sad because this is the formula, this is the Marvel that now is also becoming the DC, not full DC, but at least some of the movies and stuff, is that it has to be, you know, fun action, and there has to be comedy elements into it and stuff like that, or things that you're like, ha ha ha, that's funny, and I'm like, okay, but the thing is like, I've seen where the comedy takes over.
Yeah, and here's like, what I'm really afraid of.
Yeah.
Cheetah.
Because it's Cheetah, Kristen Wiig.
First of all, I fucking hate Kristen Wiig with like 1,000 passions of a million hells. Like, literally, if I saw her on the street, I'd probably try to run her over with my car if I knew I could get away with it.
Yeah.
Like, I fucking hate this bitch. And then also, it's just... that character has been jokey a lot in the comics, like, and it's been cool in the comics too.
Yeah,
but it's also been super fucking jokey for a long time too, especially like coming out of that 40s aesthetic. Instead of very jokey, is very jokey in the 80s too. And the 80s is what they're talking about here. And that image that is on that fucking coffee mug that got released is very much.
But this is again where we have to watch, because that coffee mug I feel was like a bootleg thing.
I'm saying, if they turn her into a fucking cool like CG cheetah creature, awesome.
Yeah.
If not, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
Like, it's gonna kill it.
And that's the thing, though. Like, especially with the DC stuff, this seems to happen more prevalent with DC stuff than Marvel stuff. A lot of really bad, like, third-party, bootleggy kind of things.
That was official merch.
That's what I'm saying. But, like, stuff that, like, comes out that's, like, very much like they show you one kind of thing and not necessarily... If that is the costume, I'll be right there with you. Like, this is fucking bullshit. Because, like, Cheetah is a legit bad guy. Like...
Yeah.
Wonder Woman only has so many fucking, like, legit villains, and Cheetah was one of them.
That scene in the trailer where, like, she's having a fucking, like, Sex in the City wine conversation with fucking Kristen Wiig, like, I was just like, God, I hope that this is an isolated incident. Like, I really don't need any of that.
You know what it kind of harkens back to me, and it makes me a little worried, too? It was that scene in Amazing Spider-Man 2 where, like, Jamie Foxx's character starts to, like, want to meet and idolize Spider-Man, and then like, and
his
then
fucking begging strips coming over
and then
shit
it,
like,
oh god, that was bad.
dude, I don't
but it
wanna
becomes that
talk about that.
It becomes that thing where it's like, oh well, I put my hero up here, but then when I found out they were like a real person, it shattered me, kind of thing.
This is used way too often in superhero movies. This really bugs me. They did that in fucking Batman Forever. They did that in that movie. They did that in fucking like 6 other fucking ones too. Hell, it's the fucking syndrome thing, like in The Incredibles. That actually works though, but like, it can be done well. It is mostly not done well.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things, especially when that's not the original origin story of that villain. So I'm excited, but I'm also, there are things there that I'm like, excited that they announced that they are doing Shazam 2.
Yeah, super jazzed about that.
Excited about
Black
that.
Adam is tailing on that too.
Yeah, which that, as much as I really liked Shazam, I'm a little bit more excited for the Black Adam because the possibilities is what could excite me.
They're saying Justice Society is happening.
Yeah, that excites me. But it's one of those things where it's like, are you going to give me he's a hero, like a very dark hero to begin with, and we're going to see the fall into the madness of like the power and stuff? Or are you just going to come out right and have him be a bad guy from the get-go? Because honestly, especially with The Rock coming out of the spin-off of the Mummy series, he was a good guy who fell to...
The Scorpion King is a very good parable for
Black Adam.
Black Adam,
Yeah, and that's why... And he did it well. He did it damn good. And that's what I would love to see, is like that kind of harken back to that, you know? So, that one I was excited about. And then we got arguably, the best trailer of the 3.
Yes, I feel like it's a personal apology to all Ghostbusters fans. I feel like this movie is like literally a personal fucking apology
the trailer for Ghostbusters Afterlife.
It's so amazing.
So good. There was a lot in this that is, to me, hilarious because, one, I don't like Stranger Things.
Nope.
It's boring as shit.
About Stranger Things.
I don't like most of the actors that have come out of it, except for, like, David Harbour actually surprised me. The Millie Bobby Brown girl is surprisingly good. But most of the young boy actors, I really didn't find to be that great. But the one that they chose was Finn Wolfhard.
Greatest name ever.
Greatest fucking name. And I really liked him in It. And
great in that.
Yeah, and that horror movie that we saw, that upcoming one, the Turning or whatever, that one he looks really good in.
I want to see that for sure.
Yeah, so he's in that. Paul Rudd, great casting for this.
It is too, because like since they were talking about doing a third one years ago, he's been in the mix for it, and he's wanted to be in it. Mm-hmm. And like from like, if you haven't seen the trailer, spoilers, whatever, but like, just seeing that the origin that they're pulling it from is like Egon's family, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
the Finn kid is supposed to be his grandson.
Like his grandson, and them discovering, and Ghostbusters are forgotten because there aren't any ghosts.
Yeah, because he basically, like, Paul Rudd's the only one that really knows about it and stuff, and he's like the uber, like, fanboy, but not like in that like creepy way. Like, I grew up in this era, like, because he says like 30 years.
It's like Charlie Day and fucking.
Pacific Rim. Yeah. But I mean, and that's perfect.
I love him so much.
But that's perfect for him because, it plays to his strengths as an actor and stuff. But it very much is that, like, one, this isn't New York. This is like Oklahoma, from what I understand. It takes place like out in the Midwest, and it's been 30 years since not only that happened, but since a sighting of these things is even so. Like 30 years. Mm-hmm. Can pretty much erase something if it's never brought up again. Yeah. You know, and that's what they're kind of playing on. That coupled with Aykroyd confirming that the original cast is going to be in this. You don't see any of them in the trailer. You do hear Bill Murray doing his classic fucking spiel, which was awesome.
Do you wonder if Janine is like their grandma?
I wondered that. I really did wonder that because I was like, Grandma never gets mentioned, and I'm like, and if it's who I thought it should have been, it's Janine, and she's supposed to be in it. So I'm going to be like, did they end up not like working out and stuff? Because I honestly thought they were the uber geek couple, like they were like the perfect, you know. So I'm very much like, I what I saw, I liked.
Yeah.
I loved.
Yeah, loved.
I loved that they were actually able to do a more physical thing, because, like, the Ecto-1 stuff was awesome. It's got a fucking gunner's chair? I was like, that's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they took the
That's
Ecto...
a cartoon.
Yeah. But, like, yeah, they said because they were showing the toys, though,
Yeah.
how it has... But, like, seeing the Ecto, like, how he was driving it, like, how it's got that horsepower, and it's like... Because, honestly, with driving around New York, you just basically were like, it's kind of like a taxi. It's just like, doo-doo-doo. But to see them basically, like, rip-roaring around in it was pretty awesome.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It does have a little bit of a darker tone.
Yeah. Which I'm excited about.
I am too. Like, they're playing up a little bit more of the fear, which I feel also with the Finn kid from being Stranger Things, like, I feel like that has, like, influenced a little bit too, as far as, like, fear, especially considering what the female version was.
Yeah.
It was very bright.
very exciting.
It was very bright and shiny ghosts.
Yeah.
Very, like, luminescent colors and stuff, which I understand to a degree they have to be, because the ectoplasm stuff, that's fine. But theirs was clean. It was a little too clean for me. I didn't like that. But from what
You talking about the ones from the last one?
Yeah.
Fucking 2016?
Yeah.
Yo, you know what was wrong with those? They all look fucking stupid. All of them. They look fucking stupid.
But I'm saying, like, that whole world looked clean. Like, even when they were dirty,
Yeah.
they still looked clean. And I
was-
didn't like that. There was a little
Yeah,
too...
the ghost designs for that were so bad. It looked like fucking, like,
It looked like Tim Burton...
shitty, like,
Big
fucking
Fish.
Men in Black, like, rip-off alien ghosts or something. Like, it was... Anyway,
Yeah, I know you're not a fan.
I honestly swear to God, I think this movie's like a personal fucking apology for that movie.
There is only one thing I wish they could have taken from that movie. Honestly, I liked Kate McKinnon's character. Just because she was fun. She was also very much a lesbian in that one. She was like very fun, and I liked the gadgetry that she came up with. Like, I liked that. Like, if they could have used some of that stuff, that would have been great. But I'm okay, because any minute they used, it would have been...
It's tainted.
Yeah, it's tainted, so it's like, okay, that's fine.
Not like tainted love, tainted like it's the taint of the fucking movie industry. Shit like that is the fucking taint of Hollywood.
But, no, so, like, the trailer for it...
It looks very promising.
It does. And there's so many harkens back to the
Yeah.
original, and, like, because I watched a video where they broke it down and were, like, pinpointing things, and, like, if what they're talking about, the theories, I'd be so excited, because it would make so much sense.
I'm very excited.
Yeah, like, I haven't been excited about a Ghostbusters thing since I was a fucking kid. And to finally feel, like, energetic about it, not, like, disappointed, or, like I got my feelings hurt or some shit, you know, it's nice.
Yeah, that 2016 Ghostbusters, that's like if someone came to your house and they took your favorite pet outside and just, like, fist fucked it with, a hot curling iron. That's what Ghostbusters 2016 is.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Like if somebody brought you a petting zoo and you thought you were going to go ride the pony, and then you go into the tent and it's really some dude getting ridden by the pony, and then you're like, what the fuck did I walk in? What did I walk into? And you're like, I thought Kelly was
got a cornhole that ass with his wiener. It's
bad. It's bad.
It's very bad. Well, anyway, we're just past the hour mark, so we do that thing we do every time before we record, where we talk about what we're going to talk about, and they go, "Well, if we have enough time, we'll talk about these things." Mm-hmm. We never have enough time, because whatever we start with ends up being like a half an hour of the show. Yeah, and I honestly am okay with it, because a lot of that stuff that we were talking about at the beginning of the show, though it is a little bit depressing, it resonates. And, like, it's important to talk about it, and, like, part of the reason that we do this is a weird little form of therapy for me. So, like, talking about that stuff, and that's a hard subject for me to talk about. Yeah, is a good thing. Yeah. But anyway, if you enjoyed what you heard on the second half of the show today, you can always find us at our network home of digital.
We didn't talk about wrestling.
We didn't talk about any wrestling today, so suck it. I didn't even mention how much when Dusty Rhodes died it killed me. But anyway, find us on our network home of digitalnerdish.com and our website, thebasementofdoom.wordpress.com. You can find us on Twitter and Instagram at Basement Fodder. You can also find us, you can find the Todd Files also at the Todd Files. I am Todd Dave on Facebook. He is Dave Basement of Doom, and Ariel is Ariel Beesh. Find all that stuff. If you get a chance, go and listen to the first episode of our new show, Doom You Like Scary Movies, which has a second episode in the can already and ready to go. And we're talking about House of Wax in that one, the 2004 House of Wax, which was super fun to watch with a 12-year-old.
Especially because it's got fucking Paris Hilton in it.
She's like, who's Paris Hilton? I'm like, oh, thank God that finally happened.
It's great, but it almost makes like once you want to go back and question her about it. Like, since you don't know who she is, what did you think about how like her acting and how she was portrayed in the movie? Like,
she was very excited when she got killed.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm like that tells you how much of a horrible fucking actor.
They heavily marketed that movie on her getting killed in it.
Oh yeah.
So that should tell you something. But anyway. As far as the year coming to an end, I know we're a couple of weeks away from the end of 2019. Hopefully we can squeeze in one more show before the end of the year. We might do a year in review kind of show. We did one of those a couple of years ago, and that was pretty popular. Yep. We'll see if maybe we can get a New Year's time period show. I don't know. We don't ever get to hang out on New Year's anymore, but we'll see what our plans are. Christmas show, I hope we can do a Christmas show this year, maybe. I don't think we're planning to have a party, but it might just be us having a party. But the problem is,
the problem is though now because we're like older, like we don't drink as much, but when we do, we get like fucking hammered, and then we just want to like just like lay there on the couch all schmammered.
We need to just get progressively drunk during.
That's hard, because like one. You just go balls to the wall as soon as it happens. Like, hold on, I need to drink this whole thing of plum wine and eat the thing for the first thing. And then I'm just sitting there like, give me a half and half. But what I really mean is like a quarter and 75%, this. And it's just like, oh, he's drunky, but already.
But now since
or we've smoked.
Well, that would work too.
Yeah.
But now since we're in the house and we have, a little bit more conducive environment, we'll try to get it cleaned up between now and then. Maybe we will invite somebody over. I don't know. We'll see.
Watson.
Yeah, I'll invite Watson over. He doesn't really drink, though, as far as I know.
No.
He's just be the sober guy.
Well, we're fucking schmammered and shit.
See if we could get all those guys come over.
No, we should get fucking Aaron and Sarah.
Oh, man, that would be hilarious.
Come over and get drunk with us.
Aaron would get drunk with us, I know.
Yeah. Sarah might not because she thinks I'm going to creep on her feet or something.
I think it'll be a ton of fun. We didn't get a chance to talk about it. I just want to quickly plug. Please go to Kickstarter now. There's 18 days left. Our friend of the show, Paul Gorey, who worked on Oathbound and Astropunk and has done some personal commissions for me and love him to death. Awesome guys. Actually, we've spent a lot of time over the years like talking on the phone. Like, hey, he was a guy who, one of the few creators that I'm friends with that reached out during my divorce and like helped me talking there a lot.
Like, hey,
so I love
buddy.
Paul to death. He's a great guy. He lives in California, or we'd be hanging out, Yeah. But he's got an art book up on Kickstarter right now. Let me pull it up real quick. I know we're short.
Which his artwork is damn good.
Oh, he's a fucking hugely talented artist. Yeah. But I, of course, have already backed it, and it's already going. Like it's already, I think it's like $25.91 on a $2,000 goal. So hey,
oh yeah, it's good. It's good. It's just, do you want to get in on it?
Yeah, and I would say, hey, get the fuck in on there. But it's called Death by Stereo: The Art of Paul Gorey. So if you just look up Paul's name, it's Gori. Gori. If you look up Paul Gorey on Kickstarter, you probably find it, or Death by Stereo. But it's got 18 days to go. There's already 41 backers. It's a great looking art book. Like, I can't wait to get a hold of it. He does like stuff by section. So there's actually a section that's like, there's like all 80s kind of cartoons and stuff. Like he does some Transformers stuff, some like Thundercats, G.I. Joe, that kind of stuff. Like it's really, I'm excited to see it. So that's cool. But yeah, give Paul some love out there. Man, we didn't get to talk about the one thing I wanted to really talk about, and I'm almost tempted to like dedicate 10 more minutes to it.
What's that?
The other Kickstarter thing that we talked about talking about.
Oh, yeah.
All right, fuck it. I'm going rogue. So we'll give it 10 more minutes.
Yeah.
So
40 more minutes.
Yeah. So you guys that are Dirk fans, of course, if you're listening to this, you probably at least heard of him because God knows, hey, take a shot. We just mentioned him. Dirk Manning fans, you'll know that he had a Kickstarter going. for the next Mystery volume, I believe it was. Right? Was it no? Was it? Well, fuck me, I don't even remember now.
No. I thought it was supposed to be
Was it
the big thing, like the omnibus.
Yes, it was an omnibus, but which omnibus was it? God, Manning, you have so many fucking Kickstarters. I can't keep track of this shit.
I thought it was the Mystery one.
It might have been. I'm embarrassed that I brought this up and now know nothing about it.
He went rogue and then he got fucked in the end.
I'm gonna fucking cut this off the show. No, forgive me because again, this has been a long ass week. Yeah. He had a successful Kickstarter that was fully funded, and then was like, you know what, I have an opportunity to make this better, and took it to the fans and was like, hey, you guys are the ones who are, paying this money out. Yeah. You guys are the ones who want to see this project go. What do you think if I just said, yeah, maybe wait a year and do it again when I can do all this other great shit?
That's ballsy.
That's some fucking testicles right there. Like, I feel like not many creators would do that, especially with a fully funded project, and more than funded. Like, it takes a special kind of thing, and the thing is, like, I don't think with a lot of creators you could have done that, but I think he has enough faith in his own fan base, and rightly so, because they're rabidly loyal. Yeah. That he could be like, you know what? Fuck it, I'm going to do this. Yeah.
And that's why they're loyal, because he always tries to do the best and give them the best stuff that he can. Yeah. And they know that, so that's, that's why he can get away with doing something like that. Because that's ballsy, man. A fully funded Kickstarter to be like, oh, right.
Right, I mean, like, would you think, like, what creator would do this?
Because we know a lot of people, and, like, we've seen a lot of Kickstarters just die a death, man.
Oh,
like,
God, yeah.
Fail and shit, and it sucks. So to be able to be like, nope, it's fully good, and I'm just gonna hit the kibosh on that. Yeah.
Fuck it.
Yeah, like, here's the kibosh.
Because his whole thing is, I can make it better. Yeah. It was okay. Yeah, it's just like, I just don't get that. Like, I do get it because it's Dirk, and I know him well enough to know that he is that guy.
But if you're looking from an outside perspective to see a creator...
how many creators would look at that and be like, oh yeah, I'm totally going to give that a shot. Like, nope, I'm never going to see that money again. Like,
they're going to be like, well, fuck you. I had it now, I don't have it now, and you're like, suck a dick.
All gonzo.
Yep. Like, it's pretty crazy.
It really, like I said, it really...
Especially not even like, hey, just wait a couple months. Like, wait a year.
Yeah, and a lot of people, and like, because he put it out there, he was like, "I'm asking you because you're the ones." And some people were like, "Well, couldn't you just do it now?" And like, we would wait a year. And he's like, "That's what I don't want to do, because that's what's happened every time because of those delays and stuff that's happened with every box. It's like people pay for it and then they don't get it for a year." Yeah, and he's like, "I don't want that to happen. I want you to be able to pay for it and then you get it within a couple months."
Because the thing is, no doubt everybody's like, oh no, that's fine, but then by the time the year comes to that point, a lot of people have soured on the having to wait a year shit. Like, a lot of people get bitchy, like, shit, I even too, because like, I fucking backed the boss fight horses thing, and like, now I'm seeing the pre-orders pop up on their website, and I'm like, hey motherfucker, where's my goddamn horse?
Fucking horses? Like, this is a problem with Kickstarter in general. It's like, if I go to a fucking con and the shit that I paid for early is on your table, I'm a little irritated by that. Yeah. Like, I paid to get this exclusive thing. Yeah. And now every motherfucker that walks by can buy it, and I still don't have mine.
Yeah. It's just also, too, one of those... Kickstarter it's this weird level of, like, pseudo-instant gratification followed by how much patience do you actually have for something that you paid for... that you're just sitting and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting for. And it's like, motherfuckers.
Well, because we were talking about it, and it's like, most of the time when I get something in the mail from Kickstarter, I've already forgotten that I backed.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I swear to God. Basically, that's the way I have to do this in my brain, because I know it's going to take forever, so I just immediately shut it off.
There was one, I actually had to go back into my Kickstarter to prove to myself that I did even fucking back this thing. I was like, I think they sent this to me by mistake. Oh, yeah. And I had to go in and I was like, oh, no, I actually did back this. Holy fuck, I completely forgot. Luckily enough, it's like when you have the money... Like, the one good thing about
so
that,
yeah,
though-
we were right. It was the Mystery Omnibus.
Yeah, that's what I was
Sorry.
thinking. Yeah, but it is what
driving me nuts.
you're like. God damn it! I need to know.
I feel bad. Yeah.
But I mean, that is a ballsy move.
It is.
And you know, we'll see how it turns out. I'm pretty sure it'll turn out great.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things where it's like, man, that's a dice roll.
I give mega kudos to him as a creator to believe in the fan base enough to be like, you know what, they're going to be there for me.
Yeah,
because it's so fucking Kickstarter is bad because like if it's a GoFundMe, like whatever money is donated is yours.
Yeah,
or if it's Indiegogo, it's similar to that too, if I'm not mistaken. Or
yeah,
like,
I think
like there are levels or something.
Yeah, you can have one that continuously goes, or you can have one that has a time limit.
Kickstarter,
and stuff
it's,
like
it's
that.
all or nothing, man. It's like unless you get everything, you get dick.
Which to me is interesting because I don't know. Like I understand the mindset because it's like, well, if you didn't get enough, then you're not going to be able to do it. So the people that gave you money should just get their money back. But at the same time,
maybe there should be like an option there, like, hey, do you still want to support me anyway?
Yeah, it's kind of like one of those, like, well, we're still working towards that. It just might take longer or some shit like that. But it's very kind of all or nothing, and I'm still surprised it's a very valid form too. Plus the amount of money that they take
they
from
take
your
a good amount. Yeah,
yeah. It's kind of one of those. I'm still surprised that it is a thing that people
Until something
use.
better comes along, it will be.
And that's the thing is like obviously you can tell that Indiegogo and like GoFundMe's and all this type of stuff because even GoFundMe takes a good chunk of your fucking
3 or 4% or something like that.
Well, it depends. Like I think
how much you make.
Yeah, how much you make and shit. But like it's obviously one of those you can still tell it's kind of in its infancy type of format that like there hasn't something come out better that
I'm sure eventually there will be too.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, that is how it is, man. Like, good kudos to you, Manning. Like, seriously,
good job.
Flip the coin, take the shot. Another quick thing. This is just on a personal note. A good friend of mine, artist-wise, J.R. Mounts. I read a post from him today, and it kind of hurts my soul a little bit. You don't really know JR because we interviewed him for the Todd Files, and I met him at C2E2 in person. And he's a great guy, and he does amazing work that doesn't necessarily have a huge audience.
Yeah,
and he's been working hard for a long time doing it. And when I see a creator make a post that says like I don't have any more left in me, because I've failed too much.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those, like, it chewed you up and it spit you out, and unfortunately you don't have the wherewithal to keep going.
And I know some of the behind the scenes on it, and lately, like, he's kind of had a resurgence because he has that Shadows of Ourselves series that's been out, and I've shared a lot of it where, like, he does the picture, and then the shadows on the wall are what's really happening in their heads or what they want to be happening. And it's really creatively some of the best stuff I've ever seen from him.
Yeah.
And I love it. And it's been very popular. And he was trying to get together, like, a book of the series, basically. Yeah. And unfortunately, it would be way beyond cost prohibitive, and I think it kind of killed any like hope that he had.
Yeah.
And I hate to see that happen. And I want to say, like, I know he listens to the shows, and I just want to say, like, dude, I know that on your post you were like, hey, I don't want to hear anybody's attaboys or like, hey man, hang in there kind of thing. But I just want to say, like, from a raw perspective, like, you are legitimately talented.
Oh yeah.
And it fucking sucks when you're talented and you don't make money, because this is the shitty side of this business. You have to work and hustle and like put that fan art bullshit up there. And he's one of those guys who doesn't do fan art.
Yeah.
And he doesn't do, that kind of stuff. And I understand that you gamble with your very life.
You do.
When you won't go down that road. And there's no disrespect to guys who do that stuff, because some of our best friends do that.
But it's also one of those
things. What you got to do to get them to the table.
But it's also one of those things sometimes too. It's not even the fan art stuff. It's like when you go down that row sometimes and you see some of the fucking garbage that is just being peddled and it's selling. Yeah. It's kind of one of those, like,
and it hurts your soul even more when you have artistic integrity.
Yeah.
Because you're like,
or not even like integrity, but like it's just like the level. Yeah. Like, because, I know it might sound elitist or some shit like that, but like there's a certain quality of stuff that, and to see something that's like,
because there's
dribble.
When it comes to fan art, there's two sides of the coin when it comes to an independent creator. There's the side that says, I'm okay with doing this because I know that it's going to bring people to the table and they're going to look at what I do.
Yeah.
And then there's the guys that are like, I just can't do that. I need to be me as an artist.
Yep.
And both sides are right.
Yep.
Both of them are absolutely right. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people don't agree with that, but realistically,
you got to do what you got to do.
if you're doing this for a living,
yeah.
you absolutely like. Do I think that us sitting there with a bunch of toys rolling dice has anything to do with what we're doing?
No.
God, no. But it pays for the table.
Yeah.
It pays for the fucking food.
And, actually, in that sense, we're very different.
Yeah.
Because you'll do it. I can no longer do the
Exactly.
table. Like, as far as a way to promote the show.
Yeah.
If it's its own thing,
And it's not
that's
anymore,
fine.
really.
Yeah.
Like, I've just given up. Like, there are cards out there, but it's more just like, whatever.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like, if it's its own entity, that's fine. But, like, in conjunction, I can't do it.
Right.
For you, it's not a problem and stuff like that, and I'm okay with that. I'm like, that's fine for you and stuff. It's a personal thing for me that I cannot do.
And the thing is, it's like, there's me and you when it comes to that, but there's like, let's just, for example, there's the Mike Watson who makes the prints that, and does the Marvel stuff and the DC stuff, and that brings somebody to the table, so that person might buy an issue of Hot Shot.
Yep.
Or they might buy an issue, of one of the other books. And then there's a guy like JR who just really wants to, his burning passion to get that art out there.
Do his
and to
stuff.
do his thing only and not rely on that. And again, neither one of you are wrong.
Yeah.
But one road is harder.
Oh, yeah.
And JR's road that he chose is a lot harder, and God bless him for sticking to it.
Yeah.
Because a lot of guys can't do that. But I tell you, like, I know that you're at that point where you want to give up, and my opinion really means dick all, like, in the grand scheme of things. But, dude, I will tell you that the Shadows of Ourselves series that you've done has touched me multiple times. When I scroll through that feed, I'm excited to see a new one, and I feel like that has a future, and I feel like you've done some of your best work since you've been depressed. I hate to say that, but sometimes the best shit comes out of you when you're fucking done.
Depression and sadness does breed a whole level of fucking creativity, so, I mean...
Like, this episode's like Lord of the Rings. We got like 15 endings.
All right, call it.
Two towers all over again.
Call it.
No, not two towers. It's Return of the King all over again. But yeah, no, seriously, man. Just like, I know this means dick, but like, fucking, you have talent. It deserves to be seen. Don't give up.
Yeah.
And don't any of you fucking give up. Seriously. Never give up. Never surrender.
Can't wait for that fucking documentary.
Rickman would want it to be so.
That documentary is going to be sweet.
Oh, yeah. Well, speaking of documentaries, if you're a Star Trek fan from earlier, go check out The Things We Left Behind. The DS9 documentary. I watched it. It's fucking amazing.
Yep.
So anyway, since I already shilled or whatever, I'm not going to re-shill, but you know where to find us if you want to find us. Well, we thank you, as always, for tuning in this week. So, from the basement, I'm Todd.
I'm Dave.
And until next time, the basement door is partially closed because it's a barn door.
Later, bitches.
Later.